Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm right in my hand says Sereno, Nightwatchman, story and art by Luciano Vecchio. English translation editor is Alexandro Segade, consulting editor Chris Allo, book design John D. Roberts. So full disclosure, this was crowdfunded. This version of the graphic novel was crowdfunded on Zoop, which is part of the team I'm part of. And this collects, I guess, the various issues that came out. This is honestly, it was a series I didn't know before that Zoop campaign. So it's interesting to sit down and read it. It's good. Like, it's an interesting world. I think the art transcends the story itself. But this is kind of this futuristic world. There's a superhero. There's, some nice villains. But it's kind of this, like, at times trippy, philosophical superhero story. I read this and I really couldn't sit there and say, here's the power set of all this, the superhero and all that. Like, it's an interesting one that you just kind of go roll with the style or roll with the story and what's thrown out there. But the thing I actually really like about it is there's like a pulp vibe about it. Like the chapters themselves feel like short and quick, but they aren't. But they have this like pulp adventure style to it. Like, it really feels like something that you could see in like serials back in the day, and it works, and I think works really well because of that. The first few chapters are kind of all broken up, stand by themselves. A little bit kind of blends from one to the other, but not much. And it's not till later on that like things really become like a multi-chapter story, and it builds. And I think the series itself builds really well to that. But I like the style. Like, there's the style is, I think, what really sticks out to me. Not necessarily the story, not necessarily the characters, or like any of that. It's the storytelling style and the art. Like, really interesting. And I say, like, it's just a pulp vibe is the best way I can describe it. Like, it really kind of reminds me of watching old school superhero cartoons, and just like the flow and the way it works. And the art is really interesting. Let me find some of the stuff that like really stands out. Like, it forgoes panels for the most part. I say for the most part, there are panels, but like there's just a flow to it. I think is like really interesting. That has no problem like using the art. It's like hard to describe. Like the flow of the art to tell the story, if that makes sense. Like, it's not just layouts and we're going to do splash pages and all that. Like, the actual movement of the art tells a lot of more of the story than I think usual. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, like the where things break on the page and the lack of panels and all that, like, it really kind of fits this trippy take on the superhero story. Like, it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. Definitely different. I think the art is awesome. Like, the art really, to me, stands out more than anything. And the concepts, it's different. Like, it's something cool. It kind of reminds me of, like, the Catalyst line back in the day. Like, I get a vibe of that, which I think is pretty neat. But yeah, like, it's definitely one that kind of does its own thing visually, and I think it's neat that way. Colors pop, like, everything about it's really interesting. Like, little Batman Beyond vibes to it, maybe. I think that's maybe what's hitting it. I don't know. It's for those pick it up and get it. I'd actually love to hear what y'all have to say about it. If it reminds you of anything and what you think of like the story versus the visuals. So get this. This is out in shops. You can get your own copy of Sereno. I have a link beneath this video where you can purchase yours. There'll be affiliate links, so you do get a small percentage, and by doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. And speaking of support, just watch our video, support us as always, so thank you for that. If you're into comics or into graphic novels, check us out every day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.